Thanks again, everybody. My name is Clever McCory, and I'm the Partner Relationship Manager at Bytespeed. We're joined here by Stephen Richard from Verkada, Isabel Strauss, who's the Verkada Solution Specialist at Bytespeed, and Brad Elkins, who's a Verkada customer, and he's here to just give his perspective on what using Verkada has been like. So this will really be quite an informal discussion. So if at any point you have questions, feel free to just put them in the chat, and would be more than happy to get Brad to address these. But thanks again for your time, and we look forward to the discussion. So perhaps we'll go around and have introductions one by one, just so we know who we're talking to. Maybe we'll have Stephen go first.
Awesome. Yeah, so my name's Stephen Richards. Been at Verkada for about 8 months. I cover the Midwest. So yep, glad to be here and excited to kind of talk today about Verkada and what we have to offer.
Awesome. We'll have Isabel introduce herself here.
Hey everyone, so my name is Isabel. I'm a Verkada Solution Specialist here at Bytespeed, and I'm going to be kind of like your one-stop shop for everything Verkada. I work with teams all across the country, and I just help coordinate deals between the sales team, and yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Thank you, Isabel. We're glad to have you. And Brad, I'll just have you introduce yourself here and talk a little bit about your Verkada deployment, and then we'll get into the list of questions that we had.
Yeah, my name is Brad Elkins. I'm the IT director at the school district of Mondovi. We're a small district in Wisconsin. We're about K-12, 1,000 kids. So not a tiny district, but also not big by any means. And we've been a customer since 2018, very early adopter. I'm pretty sure they tell me I'm the second in the state to purchase, so that's pretty cool.
That's awesome. So at this point, I'll hand it over to Isabel just to go through the list of questions that we're going to go through. And like I mentioned earlier, feel free in the chat if you've got a question that you'd like Brad to address. The whole perspective that we're trying to put forth here is just for you to hear directly from a fellow technology director who's utilizing Verkada, and hear how the deployment went for them, problems that it solved, and just kind of give you some insight, not from us at the sales side, but more from the student side of things. So, all right, Isabel, take it away.
Yeah, so I'm just going to go through a few questions here and, just kind of discuss with Brad on, why he chose Verkada and what was his decision making process like. And first off, I just want to say and ask, Brad, what kind of prompted you to consider Verkada over anything else and over what you had prior in your district, and what really stuck out with Verkada that really drew you towards it?
Yeah, one of my first years at the school here. So this is I just finished my 15th school year, so I've been here for a while. We put in an analog camera system, which was dated when we put it in, but I lost the vote, and they put it in over an IP system. And so pretty much we're behind the gun day one on an old NVR system, terrible for accessing it. So now come 2018, it's been 5 years, and we're ready to replace it. I'm looking at a couple of different IP systems, and I see an email from Verkada. It looks super easy to use. I'm like, there's no way it can be like that. So I book a demo with the sales rep at the time, and this was even before they gave out like free stuff. I didn't even get my first Yeti until after I was a customer. So I like to tell that story. So we do the demo, and I'm like, this is perfect. This is exactly what we want. And back in 2018 in Wisconsin, they were doing a safety grant as well. So we had some money into our safety grant. A lot of it was for like bulletproof window coverings, different things like that to secure our schools. And then you can use it for security cameras. And we had like just finishing up the grant money with security cameras. But after I showed our principals and our superintendent how easy it is, we booked another demo. They ran through everything again, and we rewrote our whole safety grant to mostly include cameras. So like the bulk of it went to completely replacing our camera system, and we got our first 40 Verkada cameras, and we've been off and running since.
Awesome, that sounds amazing. So what particular Verkada solutions products do you have installed and deployed within your district?
Yeah, so now we have cameras, we have access control, and we have sensors. I love the single pane of glass. As soon as they said they were coming out with access control, I think it was probably around 2020, 2019. I would definitely wanted to be an early adopter on that because I hated our door control system. I think that's one of the biggest, most slept on things within Verkada is their access control, because how easy it is, especially if you pair it with their cameras, to open your doors, give easy access to teachers or coaches. You're not hassling one person for keys all the time. They have a really handy pass app that people love to use. So big proponent of access control. But sorry, get back to your question. We have cameras, access control, and sensors.
Amazing. That sounds great. So, what advice would you have for other districts who, are considering Verkada and something that you find really special about it?
To just pull the trigger. A lot of the districts that around me, like I've been a big proponent of Verkada since I got it, showing people how much easier it makes my life. I'm a one-man shop, so anything that saves me time is great. So we've had the principals, they all can manage their own footage now. I'm hardly ever brought in to find events or anything like that. They can share with a click of a button with police or whoever else they need to share the footage with. It's all very simple to use. And then we've had quite a bit of turnover in principals over the last couple of years, just with retirements and whatnot. And we actually just had a brand new elementary principal start this week. And so last week I sent him the link to our command center, and he just immediately was off and running with it. And he commented today when I saw him this morning, he's like, man, it is so much easier to use than our old software. Like there's nothing to install. You can access it from his phone. And he thought the pass app was really cool too. So I think, yeah, the biggest consideration or the biggest thing for people to consider, I think, is just how easy it makes their lives. It's just a big time saver. Everything's in one spot. You get all the updates for free, so you can't complain about that. It all comes with your cloud license. So basically every time they come out with something new, I get it and don't have to pay extra for it. So that's great.
That is great. And then another question I had for you was, how has your experience been with working with the Bytespeed team and the Verkada team? What has everything been going with that?
Yeah, everything's been great. I again, early adopter. I purchased directly through Verkada my first few purchases before they started selling through resellers, and they've always been great to work with. Different sales reps are, even though I'm helping out somebody who isn't my sales rep right now, like they're all like very, very willing to help each other out. Support has been wonderful. Like I've had to RMA, they come with, I think it's a 10-year warranty. I've had to RMA 2 cameras and it's been easy. I just go online and they ask me a couple of questions and I get a new camera the next day. So the RMA process has been super simple. And again, I right now I have, I think, 110 in my district, maybe 115, and we've RMA'd 2 in 5 years. So it's pretty good. One of them was totally my fault because I mounted it outside and I didn't use their mount and I didn't seal it correctly, and they didn't care. They just sent me a new camera. It was pretty good. So yeah, and I know anytime I've had an issue, their customer support has been great, and they're also been very, very receptive to feedback. As an early adapter, I was able to give them kind of direct feedback of what we would be looking for in the system, and a lot of things that I suggested they have implemented. I'm not going to say I'm the only one who suggested it, but I'll take credit for the ones I definitely did.
Good, good. That's amazing. Another question that I had for you is, what future improvements do you have in mind for your current deployment?
Yeah, we just did a demo with guest, which for us it doesn't make sense just because we're a very small district, and the way that it added a layer that our superintendent and principals didn't want to add for people to sign in. So I loved having the guest here when we had it, and I think for any other district, it would be great. One thing we're definitely putting in this summer is intercom to go along with our access control, so they have their own doorbell, so we can pull out our phone systems and have it direct. Another single pane of glass with Verkada, and then we're going to be adding more cameras and sensors just throughout the district as needed. So about half of our bathrooms are covered, so I think we're shooting to get the other half covered this next year, and then again, just most of the district is covered, but just adding cameras wherever we need. But and the nice thing too is like we aren't really needing to upgrade cameras. Cameras that I put in way back at the beginning, get all of the new features. So it's been great.
Good, amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing all that information with us. And yeah, it truly is an amazing product that really improves school districts, any different companies, and it really does. The simplicity of Verkada is really, really nice and valuable. But I'm
Mhm.
going to send it on over to Clever now just to take off. And yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, totally. And if any of you have any questions right away here for Brad, maybe we'll give it a minute. Anything you might want Brad to share with you guys right away about his deployment. Up next, just to give you a quick reminder of what we have coming up in the program, is we'll have Stephen Richards from Verkada give a mini Verkada demo. It probably takes a lot more than about 15 minutes, but the objective is just to give you a quick overview. And of course, right after, if you're wanting a more one-on-one demo, we'd be glad to set that up for you. We'll set you up with the free trial as well. So if we have no questions in 30 seconds, we'll have Stephen take it away with the demo. And then at the end, I should also mention, we have an exciting program that Verkada is rolling out, which is a buyback program. So we'll learn more about that and how they can help you make it easy to purchase Verkada. Goodness, Brad, you did such an amazing job. All right, Brad will stick around here just for a few minutes to answer any questions that may come through, but we'll move over to the demo from Stephen.
Awesome, thanks. So just for agenda purposes, I'm actually going to talk through a couple slides here, give you a little bit of background on Verkada. I know we have a mixed group here today. Some might not have Verkada and some do. So I'm going to just keep that and run with it, knowing that we have some that don't know about Verkada and some do. I'm going to share some new features in the demo that maybe you haven't seen that have just kind of rolled out, just to make sure you're aware of that. And then to conclude, I'm actually going to talk through the buyback program and kind of what that entails. So that's kind of the things that I have to share here today. So I'm going to share my screen here and run through a couple slides. As we go here, if you have any questions, throw them in the chat and we can get to them at a later point here. So I'm going to share my screen. Let me just make sure we're in slideshow. All right. Clever, can you see that okay? We're good to go.
Yes, perfect. Looks great.
Awesome. And so thanks, Brad. We really appreciate you jumping on here and kind of sharing your experience. That's super helpful. Verkada has been around since 2016 and Brad has been with us since 2018. So early adapter, really appreciate your business and being with us. Kind of what he talked about and what we've gone for is the single pane of glass. And that's what you're seeing on your screen here is we're trying to make it super simple for you to be able to manage your physical security in your schools and in your buildings, just making it very easy to make sure you safeguard your assets and the people that are attending your schools and the folks that are attending your companies and so forth. So to kind of give you an idea of Verkada, we're growing exponentially since 2016. So we're all over the world. We have 16 different offices across the world. I'm in our Salt Lake office. But you can kind of see how many we have in the United States, and we've actually branched out recently over to Japan and whatnot over there in Australia, and so we're growing like crazy. A lot of new team members are joining. We're almost to about 2,000 folks that work at Verkada, so we're very excited about the growth that we're seeing. We're not looking to stop anytime soon. Here's some trusted folks in the industry just in the United States. For this purpose, you're not going to see a whole lot of schools on here for your reps and whatnot, or if you need any references, we'd be happy to share those, like Brad, that are willing to kind of share their success stories. But here are just some names in the corporate side of things that we've done work with here in the United States. So just touching really quickly on the difference between Verkada and your traditional system. Brad talked about it a little bit, about kind of how the camera would be set up. It'd go back to your NVR servers and it kind of got difficult to view offline. And so with Verkada, these are things that we're getting rid of, and these were archaic. With the NVR, it makes it very hard to scale. And with Verkada, when you don't need NVRs and you don't need servers and you don't need them breaking, this makes it, yeah, the scalability and the ease of use very simple. And Brad also touched on kind of the upgrades we have to the system. We're always pushing the software and the firmware updates, and I'll show some of that. We're always, every few months, you're going to see some changes in the platform to just make it a better experience for the end user. So this is the way that it's set up with Verkada. You just need some PoE, so internet and power for the camera, and it's up and running. With the NVR system and the servers, this makes it very difficult sometimes, especially with schools, to save data. A lot of schools I see just record on motion, and when the camera fails to record on motion, that can be a problem. So with Verkada, you get a limited saving in the cloud, and then you can see it on any of your devices. Brad talked about it. It's on the app. It makes it really easy for the principals to get involved, just on having it on a web browser. So that's just a little background on how the setup is used. We do have a variety of products. The camera was our flagship, and that's what we started with. But as even Brad talked about, the access control and the software that you use for your access control makes it very simple to have that along paired with your cameras. Brad has our sensors, and I'm guessing these are going to be for vaping in the bathrooms. So we have that all on one system that will give you alerts to your principals. So, and those that are needing to, maybe your SROs, that would actually be the ones to handle that and kind of take that off your plate. We also have alarms. If you want management, we could manage that for you. We have door sensors, panic buttons, motion detection. Our guests, to make sure that you know who's coming into your schools, who's coming in and visiting your companies and your employees, to make sure we have a documentation of that and not just writing it on a piece of paper. And then also our mail room and our intercom. So today, just because we're going to talk about the Camera Buyback Program, that's going to be my main focus, but I'm going to transition now to our product and kind of show you a little bit of the command. All right, here. All right, so as we jump in here to command, what we recommend and what we have folks do is we set up certain sites. And so these are going to give you all your cameras that you have throughout your school or for your corporation. What you can do though is you can set it up, your different buildings, into locations here for sites, and then you can have sub-sites. And so this makes it really easy for someone like Brad or someone that's the IT director to give access to only certain sites, because maybe some folks don't need access to all the cameras. And then you can jump to them, like we have our London office. You can jump to those locations and see those cameras, what's going on. These are just our demo cameras that we have throughout our offices that I showed you earlier. Really quickly too, I just wanted to show you here. This is the single pane of glass that we spoke about. You're going to have your cameras, your access control, and you can just hurry and jump over to anything that you need to look at. So going from the sites, going to our maps, you can also organize it in a way where we integrate with Google Maps here, so you can kind of see worldwide or just statewide, if your schools, just your locations that you would have those cameras, and it makes it really easy to jump into it. This is our San Mateo office, and we have we have two locations down here, so you can kind of jump into one of the locations, see all your cameras are upline, that if they're green, they're good to go. If a camera goes down, you're going to be notified, and it's going to turn colors here. But from here, we can jump into a floor plan, and this is very helpful for schools and even corporations. You can kind of see the heat map where folks are, and then also motion detection. So you can see what cameras are actually catching motion currently as we speak. They're going to be blinking here. So this is very helpful. If you're current Verkada customer and you don't have this, please reach out to your rep and we can help you get started with this. So from here, I can jump into one of our cameras, and I'm just going to go briefly through the camera, how it works. We really try to highlight making the ease of use on finding, saving, and sharing footage. So one of the things that we can do for that, we can go off motion. So this is a very high traffic area. This is our front door down here. I can scroll and put a box over this door. and I can see all the motion that happened. And because this is such a high traffic area, it's every couple seconds, like you're seeing 19 seconds, 11, 17. So if I'm going back here to look for footage, this might not be the best way to do it based on the high traffic, but this is I just wanted to show you that. We also can do history, making it very easy to, if you knew the time frame that it happened, you could break it down into certain chunks of time. And we have these blue lines where it's showing a vehicle or a person, so you can easily skim through data to make it very fast to find the data you're looking for. We also have analytics off of cars and folks on people. So you can come in here and you can search for if their upper body, if they're wearing a red shirt, if they're wearing a backpack. So you can easily go through the camera and find the information you're looking for. Going back to Brad's point, it's super easy once you find what you're looking for to save it and to share it with those that are needing the footage. So if this is the clip you need to share, this man walking out, maybe he's leaving early and his parents needed to know. So you could cut this clip, save what you needed to save. A new feature that we came out with here is blurred faces. So if for any reason you need to blur some faces, you could do that, but you'd save it. And then it would appear here in the archives. And you could easily download it and save it share it that way, or you can just share it via text message or an email, just making it super easy to share out. We can do the same thing with vehicles. And then also we do have something with analytics where you can actually track how many people are going in and out of your building or a certain area. We can actually turn these into alerts. Like if after hours, if someone is standing by a door at the school and it catches them kind of loitering for 2 minutes or so, you can actually make it reach out to you via email or text. But for those that maybe haven't seen Verkada and how easy this is to share, I do want to share a link with the group here so that you guys can on your own accord, whoops here, let me stop sharing. You guys can jump in here and you can view the footage on your own and kind of get a feel for how easy it is. So I just shared a link to that camera I was showing at the front door, but you can have a chance to kind of click on this if you like and use that throughout the day-to-day. So just copy that link. So let me go back into what I was sharing here. So that's the camera at a high level, just making it easy to find, save, and share. Just to kind of end here with the demo, I just want to be cognizant of the time. We did come out with this new search capability where you can basically do a Google search. So I could come in here and look at some of the last, so a janitor working, you could type in a janitor working, it's going to scrape all your cameras and it's going to populate those that would fit a demographic of a janitor working. So this is a new feature that just recently came out. It's going to be pushed out to your platform so that you can use. So look for that, see if this would be something of use to you. But we're always trying to upgrade the system and make it a better experience for you. So there's something new that just barely came out. And then just to conclude, Brad touched on this a little bit, but we're really keen on our support. We want to make sure you guys have a good experience, whether that's even trying it out for the first time or you've been with us since 2018. So we do have help right here. You can contact us anytime, 24/7. You can live chat us. I believe they'll get back to you in 20 to 30 seconds. Most of the time we can fix the problem. 95% of the time we can fix the problem just remotely. You just give us a token so we'd have access to your cameras and then we'd fix it and so forth. If not, even if you've heard from Brad today, if it's even a user error, they're very gracious about replacing your Verkada equipment and just shipping it out and getting it to you the next day, because we really value your business and we want to make sure your security is a top priority. So that's kind of all I have here on the camera demo. Please reach out to your Bytespeed rep or your Verkada rep if you want to go any deeper and have more of a one-off experience for you. We're happy to do that. I'm going to transition now to the buyback program, if that's all right, Clever.
Yeah, that's totally fine. I did want to make a quick comment. Brad, maybe this would be a good time to share. I think there's an experience you all once had in the district with the student. I thought about it when Stephen was talking about someone leaving early and being able to identify that. Could you share a little bit more about that?
Yeah. last year, I'm trying to get a timeline. Yeah, it was like last December. Last year we had a student who was talking to a guy online. And so she showed up to school one day. Her mom dropped her off, or someone dropped her off at like 7:50, but she didn't go to first hour class. And so I got a call at like, I don't know, 8:20 or so, that the police are here. Can you come to the office? And I'm like, oh, I'm getting called to the office for the police. This is interesting. And so I go there, and they're telling me that she left with somebody. They don't know really anything. Apparently they've been talking online, and she was here for a couple minutes and left. And so because I'm just the quickest at using the system and I was available, I was like, okay. So I took the police back to my office. We hopped on to our command platform. We put her picture into the search, her school photo into the search. It found her pretty easily right away. Shows her walking into the building at 7:50, and then we kind of followed her through what she did for 10 minutes, and then followed her out the door, saw the car on our corner camera. So we saw that it was like a red Nissan something. We're able to identify what the car she got into, the direction she left heading away from the school. And so very quickly, within a matter of minutes, we were able to get an accurate photo of what she looked like that day, and archive her movements throughout the day, saw where she went while she was on site, the car she got into, and then we were able to get that out to the appropriate people, and she was found like within an hour, a couple towns over actually, and brought back in and everything like that. So it all turned out really well. It was very quick to find all of the footage, but that was one where like the person search and being able to move easily from camera to camera, sharing that footage with the police, all was just an actionable thing right there that shows you everything that they've talked about, and like we had a real scenario where it happened.
Fantastic. Thanks for sharing that, Brad. Stephen, you can go ahead. I should say to the group, if you have any questions about the demo that Stephen just gave, feel free to send them our way. But we'll kind of wrap up the discussion here. We're talking about the buyback program that Verkada is rolling out to make it easier to purchase Verkada.
Awesome, thanks. And thanks for sharing that, Brad. That's super helpful. So jumping into the buyback program, so kind of what the buyback program does is it's giving you an opportunity to just make it easier to get into Verkada. So kind of how even Brad talked about, it looks like he rolled out 40 cameras to start. And we know how it's sometimes not the greatest situation to have two different systems you're working with to monitor your security. And so what Verkada has put out recently is they're willing to buy back your cameras to help make it an easy transition to move to all Verkada. And especially if you have multiple locations, many cameras, we just want to make it very easy to make that move to the cloud and to Verkada. So kind of how this would work is I have a link here I'll share. Thanks, Clever, for sharing out. I didn't realize I was just sending that to the panelists. So thanks for sharing that with everyone else for the camera stream, but I'll make sure I share this correctly with everyone. So what this would do is it kind of gives you the information that you need to move forward with something like this. So what this is really for is mostly for new Verkada customers, those that don't currently have Verkada. If you do have Verkada, I would just sync up with your Verkada rep and talk to them about the opportunity here, and maybe they can help you. If you're moving forward with a bunch more cameras, maybe they can find a way to make this program work for you. But really, this would be for new customers, 100 cameras, give or take. If you had like 75, again, connect with your Verkada rep and they can help you. If you don't know who your Verkada rep is and you're interested in this program, I would just fill this out so that your Verkada rep internally, they can get this information and they can reach out to you here. But here are the requirements real briefly are 100 cameras, a new Verkada customer, and the existing cameras are under 3 years. Again, if it's over 3 years, just talk with your Verkada rep and see what they can do for you. It gives you a little bit more information on how you move forward with all of this. They really want to see kind of like the purchase date of and whatnot and kind of get into the nitty gritty there. But again, your Verkada rep can help you get going with this. So I will share this link here with the group. So you will have the link that you can use to start engaging here. But let's see here. I'm trying to do it the right way. Here you go. Hopefully that is the right way. But that is our buyback program. So it'll go up to $250 per camera. And again, this is just a way to help you make sure you get all the votes at the boardroom. We're just trying to make it very simple because we get it. If you just install a camera system, if you have a bunch of cameras, we're just trying to make it an easier transition that we're willing to buy them back. And that's how serious we are on helping folks get up and running on Verkada. So with that, if I'll turn that back over to you, Clever. That's kind of what I had to share with the buyback program. But if there's any questions, happy to answer them.
Fabulous. Thank you, Stephen. And just to reiterate, like you said, there are stipulations to the program, but we have seen exceptions being made case by case. So whatever your situation is, there's no harm in having the conversation. Would be more than willing to get our heads together and see if we're able to help. But at this time, we'll just see if any of you have any questions before we call it here and try to give you back the rest of your day. But thank you so much for your time, and we appreciate the conversation. Awesome. I think we're in good shape. Thanks again for joining, everybody. We'll follow up with a link to the recording. I see here just a comment. It says, not a question, but 10 out of 10, Verkada is the best purchase I've made here in a small district. Thanks, Caleb. We appreciate that.